This is a Western New York Bigfoot Investigation Group podcast. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. It contains no wisdom, very few facts, or life-changing epiphanies, and is only the opinions, hypotheses, and guesses of the podcast host. If anything of value is learned, it is by mere chance alone. Don't blame me if you suddenly think about something or anything in a way you hadn't thought about it before. Right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Bigfoot Atheist Inquiry, number 11. Sasquatch Random Live. You know me. I'm the Bigfoot Atheist, a.k.a. Sasquatch, a.k.a. Joe. You know me. How's everybody doing? I'm glad to see you all. I have my good friend with me, Mr. Leon Thompson. And how are you doing, chat? So we got some people in here already. We got Grasshopper was in first. Then we got Cindy Finn. Hi, Cindy. And then there's Brent, the tall ones. What's up, my man? We may be seeing a little bit of Brent too. Who else we got? Angel, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, Tom Thaler, welcome, sir. Glad to see you. Sharon, welcome. Who else is in here? Jen, there she is, my lovely friend. Hope you're doing well, Jen. Good to see you. Gary Johnson, hey, there you are. How you doing, Gary? Joe Dryden, good to see you too, man. Thank you for joining us. Donald Fuller, hello, Mr. Fuller. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. We have Jonathan, Sasquatch Wizards Adirondacks. Hello, sir. Glad you were catching this first part. I know you said you had something that you do with your daughter's ballet or something, so I'm glad to see you popped in here right now. Brian and Chewy go hiking. What's up, Brian? There we go, brother. How you doing? Good to see you. Grasshopper, you were always in first, man. Oh, my screen flashed. And Bigfoot more, there he is. David, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. Good to see you. Everybody's saying hello to everybody. We have such a friendly chat with each other here. Everybody's all so nice to everybody and saying hello. That's what I like to see there. Former everything, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right, looks like we covered everybody, Leon, that's in the chat so far. So this is a good one, and it's funny, man. I don't know if these guys are having a competition now who can pull off the best hoax or what, or the worst. I'm not sure which. But yeah, with a heavy heart, another hoaxer is exposed, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. I did not find this myself. I actually have to credit I'll use his initials for now, TJ. I was trying to see if I could get him on, even if he didn't want to appear on camera, because he's the one who found it and actually exposed it. He saw it on another page, and the guy said, I've seen that Sasquatch somewhere before. And he sure did. He found it. And so he posted on the coalition. And that's how I found it. You know, I probably never would have seen it otherwise because I don't follow this particular person that has been caught hoaxing. And, well, I'm just going to go ahead and show you what was found. And you guys in the chat, you can say yay or nay whether you what you're seeing. But hey, Book Lost Crew, hello Jerry. Glad to see you. So yeah, let me pull this up here. And so today, folks, it was with a heavy heart that I say that Colorado Bigfoot, aka Mark and Bell, was caught hoaxing. I'm sorry if some of you in the chat may have followed him and everything, but you know, it is what it is. And this is what it is, folks, right here. Now, TJ, it was originally posted on another site, and I'm glad they blocked out that name that was there. But the other page, you can see, had posted this saying, amazing photos from Mark Abel, a.k.a. Colorado Bigfoot. And that's when TJ said, hey, I've seen that Sasquatch before. The one you can see right here. And he did a couple of comparisons because he found them. And yes, indeed, it's the messing with Sasquatch. And you can actually see these are two examples that TJ did. He pulled them up and he did comparisons side by side. And there you go. Right there. You can see it. And this is one, I just did it from the opposite side. I pulled him up too, and you can compare it to that. It's the exact same pose. Exact same thing. So, you know, guys, I'm sorry to say, I never would have seen this because I do not follow Colorado Bigfoot, and maybe all his followers know that he's just playing around and they look at it as entertainment, but I've seen some of the comments and they were all just applauding, oh, great photo and all this other stuff, and not even realizing that, hey, you know what? This is this dude right here. It's messing with Sasquatch, man. It's not real. It's not a real Sasquatch. And I never would have known that except for it gets out on the internet. And so that's why I was forced to say, look, man, I'm wary of this, man. We got all these guys that are like competing with each other or something. I don't know what it is, but there's the evidence right there. So you guys judge it for yourselves. You don't have to take my word for it because I'm sitting here showing it to you. You can look at the pictures yourself. There's also a link in the description to the coalition's page. And there's a link in the description to a video that Brent did on it too, where he goes a little more in depth on some things, I guess. Well, he states things differently than I do. So you might want to give that a watch too. But there it is, man. I don't know what to say about this other than it's a hoax, man. It's another hoax. And so it's disappointing. I know, and I'm sure that some of his followers would be disappointed too. If they saw the evidence, and of course, a lot of them are going to look at it and just ignore it and be like, "Oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about. That's not," But it's very obvious that Colorado Bigfoot is very adept at, I don't know, Photoshop at least. Who knows what's going to happen? Who knows what's going to happen when he gets into AI? Who knows? I mean,
that's just a transfer over. I mean, that's not even a Photoshop. I mean, the thing, all he did was he blurred the picture a bit, right? Like you can still see it.
And I mean, he stuck it in some trees there or whatever, but So it's like, guys, right? So it's oh, hang on, we got, sorry I don't have introductions like everybody has for you guys, but I'm working on it. So hey Brent, what's up, my man?
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Everybody in chat can hear Brent. Yeah,
That's fantastic.
there you go. Angel Nolan, that looks like the Jacksling Squatch. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? And if it would have just stayed on Colorado Bigfoot page, then probably none of this would be being done, right? Because it wouldn't have been brought to our attention, right?
But
So
no,
I
someone
guess
named
no
Tommy
harm,
John
no
had to
foul.
do it, huh?
He's entertained. I don't know. He's hoaxing his viewers, but I guess if we don't know it, I guess there's nothing we would say about it. But no, it's got to get leaked out because somebody else from another thing said, "Oh, those are amazing pictures by Colorado Bigfoot." They posted them, and then somebody else with a hawk eye and a good memory said, "Wait a minute, no, 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 no. I've seen that Sasquatch before." And he did his due diligence, and he found the exact Sasquatch.
I know. I was like, damn, the exact picture right there, son.
Yes.
Yeah, he did a good job, didn't he? Tommy John starting trouble out there again.
He did a good job. Good job.
Good job.
Man.
No, he did.
You know,
He actually does a really good job on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, this would have passed right on by me had it not been for that, and I wouldn't have cared. But you know what? If it's going to get out on the internet, you're right, man. I feel incumbent upon myself, and as somebody who wants to be honest in this, to bring it out there and show it. Hey, people, this is a hoax, man. I'm sorry. This is not a real Sasquatch. It's just somebody trying to pull one over on you. Personally, I don't like having smoke blown up my ass. I'm not a chimney. Maybe some other people don't care, but I care. And I care about the people out there that are trying to actually find some realism in this whole subject, man. So, yeah, and at the same time, I really got to kind of like giggle and laugh at this because it's really a bad attempt.
It's bad, man. It's really bad. It's like he didn't even try. Like nobody's trying nowadays, which is great for us and everybody else. But man, this Colorado Bigfoot, he must be slipping in his 1300 video or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if he was able to just keep it on his own page just to entertain his own people that are believe he's putting out stuff, then I guess no harm, no foul. But it reaches out to everybody else, man, and of course somebody's going to point it out. No, this is a hoax, man, because it's this kind of stuff, man. It is this kind of stuff that makes all the rest of us look like we don't know what we're talking about either. Right.
Something you should do is put his name in the title and in the tags of your video, because what happens is when somebody pulls up his video, types in his name, it'll actually pull up your video. That's actually why I tag the people in my community page too that I talk about, like Mike and this dude here, Colorado Bigfoot, because it helps with the search engine, because that's what we kind of need. That's why I recommend people.
Well, a
lot of people doing it.
I think I'm allowed to put a link into his page in my description.
Well, I was saying about the title. So like if somebody's clicking on it, like saying, oh, okay, so here we go. Because you're like with your title, it's so ambiguous. You don't really know what hoax you're talking about. But if you specify like, okay, Colorado Bigfoot's a hoaxer. So when someone's searching it or just perusing through the web and want to just come across your video, they'll probably be more likely to click it because they know who that person is versus some
you mean like in the title? I can edit the title and just say Colorado Bigfoot. Yeah.
And if you put Colorado Bigfoot in the tags too of your video, it'll also help with the search engine too.
I get you.
Yeah.
So Jerry has a question. Jerry has a question here. Jerry questions. He says, "Why are they being so blatantly obvious all of a sudden?"
Blatant.
I would ask the question: why are people blatantly so gullible? That's the real question.
Yeah.
And
You
it's not
want to check your
I
connection.
panic about every time.
Yeah. Check your
You
connection.
guys,
You might want to check your connection, Leon.
Yeah. Check it again. It's getting
Yeah, you're.
crap.
Yeah.
I'm not attached to anything. Hold on here. I don't know what's
Yeah,
going
it's
on with my computer. Push my laptop.
just like
It was sounding fine
it.
before.
tap it. Just go.
I thought we had it figured out. Well, he'll get it. He'll get it back.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Jerry? I don't think honestly. I mean, I don't know, but I don't think he was meaning to be that obvious about it. I'm not. Ooh, something's going on now. Something's blocking your camera.
He's gone. He's gone.
All we see is hands.
He's going into another dimension.
I don't. Yeah, he's cloaking. He's cloaking, folks. There he is. I don't
Okay,
think
let me-
he was. I don't.
Can you
sorry,
hear
say it
me?
again. Yes.
Yeah,
you
that's
hear
much
me?
better.
Yes.
Yeah, much
I
better.
don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what's
Oh,
going
there
on
we
with
go.
my computer, man.
Yeah.
Am I good? Am I not good? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you just started breaking up again. So I don't know if you touched your computer and that's what caused it.
Didn't do anything. I've been having, now my camera's acting up. My microphone's acting up. My camera's acting. Maybe I got hacked. This is a brand new laptop I'm on right now, specifically for this stuff. So you
Might
can't
want
hear what I'm saying probably.
to restart it or something.
We
Clear.
can hear
Give
it.
me a
It's
second.
just really crackly for some reason.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave and then come back in.
Okay. So
Good.
yeah, Jerry, I don't think he was trying to be that obvious about it, because I don't know if he ever realized that somebody like that other page was going to post it saying amazing pictures. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he posted it on somebody else's page saying, "Look at these great pictures I got." He posted on his own, but somebody who apparently is a fan of his took them and said, "Look at all these amazing pictures." And that's how these hoaxers sometimes get caught. So it's like, I don't follow his page, but this right here, even if I was somebody that saw this, I think everything would then be in question of what he would put up on his page. If I was one of his followers, I'd be like, "Holy crap, man. How much of this other stuff that you've been posting all this time has been fake too?" So, but it is a good question. One of the things is why are they just coming out of the woodwork now? Yeah, this is one of the reasons why.
Well, they're just kind of getting lazy now because they're so complacent with their situation that they're in. Because they have so many followers, they have their usual Patreon members that are a guaranteed monthly donation. So you get kind of lazy, and I wouldn't be surprised if he does it to try and troll his own audience. He gets a kick out of it, of like, look what I could do on these people. Look how superior I am. He gets his own thrill from it probably, but because that's so. As I like Jerry's little use of the word blatant, because that's one of Mark Abel's Colorado Bigfoot's favorite words is blatant. It's so blatant. Everybody, look at that cross. It's so blatant.
Yeah.
Like that,
I
Jerry.
see
Good
that
job.
some people in the chat are saying they didn't apparently get to see what I shared, so I'm going to show it to them. Jay, this is what we're talking about right here. It's an offering that was on Colorado Bigfoot's page, and it was put up by another page, and then somebody from the coalition saw it and said, "Wait a minute." And so it's the Sasquatch beef jerky links, or Jack Links Sasquatch, that he's trying to claim is a picture that he took of a Sasquatch, man.
So we put it in the raffle for silliest hoax of the year.
So we did, yes.
a good
We're
one.
putting it in the raffle. I mean, so far we've got Mike Patterson's latest offering, and we've got this one now. So we're gonna see how many more. We're gonna see how many more pop up. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you notice, like, he doesn't address it. He just lets his viewers say whatever they want about it, and so many people are like, "Wow, that's amazing! Look, there he is."
Sasquatch. He asks, "Is there a backstory to why this fella posted it?" Yeah,
Tommy John. Is it that dude?
he saw it on another page, and he recognized the Sasquatch. And he was
He's
like, wait a minute, I've
Yeah.
seen this before.
Yeah, Tommy John, he commonly does this. He he's a very intuitive and question, likes to question things, and he picks up on a lot of stuff like this. He actually brings forth a lot of different shenanigans that goes on that, like you mentioned, Joe, we would never have picked this one up if it wasn't for him. So kudos
Right.
to Tommy John for
Yeah.
really, putting some sunlight on this bad boy.
Yeah, because he saw it posted on that other cryptid page or whatever, and he put it on the coalition, going, "Guys, look at this! I've seen this Sasquatch before." And he came with this, and he did the 2 pictures side by side, and you can see, man. I mean, now, hold on, Brent. Maybe we're all wrong. Maybe that Sasquatch for messing with Sasquatch, Jack Link's beef jerky, is real. And he's running around the country striking the same pose.
I'm open to it. I'm open.
You know?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay or no?
Now we can, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. I recognized the picture when I first seen it posted too. So not to mention it's a pretty famous costume picture. So,
Yeah.
And what I was trying to say before is, why do people keep doing this? The question that's more of a mystery to me is, why are people so gullible and keep allowing themselves, even when evidence is clear, which I do understand the reason why people do that, but I think it's great that this is happening. I don't think this is, we can sit there, it's been going on, but the thing is that it's going to get to a point where people are going to say bullshit a lot more. And that's what we want. We want a lot of people to say, this is bullshit. This whole thing is bullshit. You've got to get a system to a part where they're frustrated with it so that the shift will change in the whole community. And that's the bottom line. You can't, the idea of these people that are out there, I mean, it's a huge threat for them, for the channels that we have now that are coming out. And that's what we want. You just keep ridiculing them. These are the people you should be ridiculing. You're not ridiculing the who will come will be the flying monkeys from the channels that they have and support. But the more embarrassing they feel, I mean, it's eventually their own circle of people are going to start saying, I can't pretend anymore. This is just garbage.
Yeah.
Brent, we were talking to Kevin last night. I didn't realize that he followed our same path in the same background where you and I came into the whole thing. That was a total enlightening thing. But I'm thinking about, look at if I do something stupid like that, or Brent or Joe, everybody in the chat, for God's sake, hopefully will say, you guys are full of bullshit. Because we need to be publicly shamed for the embarrassment of what we're doing, especially after building a rapport over a few years with a lot of people in chat. And I don't have time. I have to say this too, because I know what people have been messaging me. I just haven't had time to get back to you guys. So it's not that I'm ignoring you. I just haven't had time to get back to people.
Yeah, I got a couple of questions here in the chat. Sasquatch said, I meant, does anyone know why Colorado Bigfoot posted the photo? And
he likes to post photos.
Somebody else said,
1,300 videos.
Welcome to the chat, Sunshine. SWA, good question. Did Colorado himself actually post the photo, or did one of his followers? Now, it's pretty blatantly obvious he is the one.
It's on his page, yeah.
That posted it on his page. And everybody in his comments that follow him were like, oh, that's a great photo. What a big fella that is. And there was one guy, though. There was one guy that I noticed on one of them that said, I believe they exist, but this is obviously fake.
Yeah, it's a collage of a bunch of photos that he's had over the years, some of his better ones. And yeah, that one there was just like, boom, right there, like number 4 picture. So you see it in the thumbnail when you scroll by it. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt.
I mean, if you go back again with the insight now, if people are watching it and see that this is a hoax, go back and check his other videos. You hear it mostly all narration. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, but we've seen those pictures. Yeah, but you've heard the narration prior to seeing the picture, which sets your brain up into buying what the narration is. So you're not seeing what you're seeing. like a porcupine on a 10-foot apple tree. Why would it turn into a Sasquatch? Why doesn't it turn back into a Sasquatch so it can just grab any fruit off the top of the apples off the 10-foot tree it's climbing, especially with an 8-inch circumference of the I wouldn't say stem, but and that's the thing is, look, you got to get to the point where it's not don't apologize for any of these people. Go after them. They deserve to be after them because they're fooling you. No, not me. I'm not one to be fooled. I deal with deception professionally. I get fooled. That is why people. I just watched a video on before it came on of this lady who got all her friends believing that she had cancer. Not only did she have cancer, terminal 4 cancer. Not only that, her mom just died. And then she went and found out that her dad hung himself because, and she's lying. The whole thing, she's lying. She's playing all her workspace, all her friends. She wants to have a bucket list before she goes so her friends get together and pay for her whole trip. It's the same strategy. These people do not deserve your right to support them if they're not being honest with you. What you say is directly connected to your character. If your character is delusional, you're going to point out with a narration, this is the Sasquatch and that's the Sasquatch, without showing us why it actually is, besides you saying it is. That's the bottom line. You want to stay delusional? Have fun with that. In the long run, it's going to affect your personal life. You're not going to be able to handle and negotiate crisis when it comes down to your pike. Because your brain doesn't want to be solid in things. Go ahead, Brent.
But don't you think that that's what their followers or his followers really kind of want, though, is they just want that narrative. They don't really care if it's true or not. They just would rather be there with him.
No, but, look at ourselves, right? You want to know the facts of things. That type of thinking process, especially in your background, whatever you have in your background history, you're going to try to be as fair as you can to the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with that, though, is you get suckered in for so long. It's even more dismaying when you realize, think of what you went through and I went through, and even Kevin Hart went through, which was there's something really wrong here. And then you feel kind of pissed off and embarrassed for yourself for falling for such a stupidity. But those people are trusting. When you come online, you're curious, so you're trusting. There's going to be some good stuff. It's like watching. That's a distinction that has broadened over. And I'm doing some research in a different area, not online. But the idea of TV being more real than real life, because there's nothing modeling real life anymore. TV, entertainment, YouTube, social media is all your imagery you're getting in your head, plus a narration of what people think life is all about. But when real life comes in and interrupts that fantasy idea or the fantasia idea, it causes a great disruption in your life because you're not equipped to deal with real life. You go into fantasy thinking. Things aren't as bad as what they are. Yes, they are. And with these type of things, and this is what you're going to have with his kind of any of these guys that we talk about, they're going to have a real struggle because it's easier to buy the BS than it is for the frustration of the awkward feelings I feel, because the BS gives me good feelings, right? But it's delusional. I'm sorry. We're all capably and prone to fall into delusional thinking when crisis comes up. It's just the way the brain works to try to protect us a bit. But
so don't you think that his followers are...
Go ahead.
Don't you think that his followers are in crisis, and that's why they're so attracted to somebody like him, because they can go get lost in his narrative?
It's just not just that. It's the whole culture. Our whole culture is more leaning towards this fantasia style living instead of raw living in humanity.
Yeah.
And because we can escape from our own reality so quickly, so rapidly. I mean, think of it, in the last 50 years. The ability to leave reality of what it is, natural nature, our way of living for thousands of years, is so quick for us. Think of TikTok. Think of how long you can stay on a cell phone looking at TikTok videos for 1 minute each, getting 300% your endorphin shot for the day in every minute of TikTok. It's a distraction. And then next thing you know, hours have gone by. It's great if you have to do your laundry. But put the phone down, you guys. Go outside. Give yourself a break from technology because it's it's saturating a lot of every aspect of. And with the latest AI coming up on the pike,
These guys get a
most people
hold of
have
AI.
no idea
You know,
at what's coming down the pike in that
if
field.
they learn AI and how to use it, especially with what's going on, well, definitely their followers, who will probably always follow them, will get the entertainment of their lives, no doubt. But you know, I wish we didn't have to do this kind of stuff. That would mean there were no hoaxers out there. You know, I wish we didn't have to do this stuff. But you know, it's like Jay, they're having a conversation in chat, and I want to pull up this comment because Jay says, SWA, brother, it seems like it happened yesterday in my life. I guess always will till I hit the grave. Now, we all know Jay. We've all heard his encounter. I think it's safe to say that most of us here, at least I can say personally for me, I absolutely know that man saw something out there. Absolutely. And this kind of stuff, man, really belittles these kind of encounters, man, that are real, that somebody has seen. And sometimes with some people, it can be traumatizing. And this kind of stuff just belittles it, man. And if this would just stay on his page, you're right. Again, wouldn't know anything about it. They could have all their fun on that page. But this gets out on the internet for whatever reason. Some other page wants to promote it and go, oh, look at what Colorado Bigfoot did now. Amazing photos. And that's going to start affect other people who may just be getting into this and don't know what it's all about, maybe. And they see this and go, oh, wow. And, you know, I mean, and then it's just going to just snowball from there, man. And it's like, yeah, I'm a little weary of it, you know, and I'm finding a balance between being weary of this shit and starting to just freaking laugh my ass off when I see pathetic attempts at trying to hoax something, you know. And Adel Clutch said, this is funny. Adel Clutch said, do you really want to be the Bigfoot sheriff of the world? Somebody replied, yes. Former Everything said, yes, I do. Too much bullshit.
Is that Pat?
My answer is no. I don't want to be the Bigfoot sheriff of the world, but you know what? I'm trying to show some honesty here in this subject, man. So yeah, if I see some hoaxing, we have to call it out.
I hate that. I hate when people do that. It's like, oh, hey, you're trying to be a sheriff or trying to police the Bigfoot community. It's like people who say that are trying to get you to not do it. They're trying to like talk you down or try to diminish like, you know, the value that you see in that. So it just really irritates me when somebody like says something like that, where it's like, oh, you're going to police the Bigfoot community? It's like,
well, I don't want to.
No, we're gonna talk about hoaxers and hold them accountable because we have proof and stuff.
I don't want to project that onto Adult Clutch though, but
well,
I mean,
no, but
I mean that's
no, I was just saying in general.
Serious, honest question.
Is that Pat? Is that Pat?
But, yeah, I mean, no, I don't want to be, but will I play the sheriff sometimes when I see a hoax? I'll have
to.
Just saying.
I don't think like the thing is like it's about education. You need to equip yourself to know things, the right things, not just things people are narrating, so that you can recognize like a lot. If you look at, you know, there's certain things, tools that the body comes into the world with. They're called basic powers. What I see is what I see. What I know is what I know. What I think is what I think. And this is the tough one for a lot of people, because what I think is what I think gets into question pretty young. Gets you chipped away pretty young. So you start asking questions, and then people start reframing it, your parents or other adults or your siblings. And then you can't trust what you're seeing. But the problem is you don't know that. You're just gullible now because you're so used to just your receiver dish is take it in and don't question it. It's got nothing to do with sheriffing anything. It's about your ability to able to discern certain things. So when you're in a personal crisis, you won't even recognize that you're in a personal crisis. What you'll do is you'll go into a thinking process that helps you stay in denial as a counter, but it will seem counterfeitly similar to what your needs are. but you won't recognize it's a delusional way of keeping you stagnant instead of moving you forward. And that's what you kind of see at least what I see in this whole system. And it's not just this system, it's a lot of systems out there, work systems, religious systems. It's not the right for you to recognize what you're seeing, let alone think of it. If you're in that chat room on Colorado Bigfoot's chat and you've been there and you're quite known, well, you're getting strokes. That's another one of your basic needs, strokes, which is giving you stimulus, which is another one of your basic needs of that you are important because people are recognizing you. You're being seen, you're being heard, and you've developed this community. And then if you're one of those people down the road, like Brent, you and I were, and you start putting your hand up, saying things, the system can't handle it because you're going against the narration rhythm of the narration is a good way of putting it. And it doesn't sound as similar as what we're talking about over here. We don't talk that way here. We don't talk about psychology. We don't talk about, we talk religious kind of talk. And if you don't talk the way we religiously talk, then we sniff there's something different about you. But they don't understand, well, why would that be important? Well, because don't bend your knee to anybody, anything without vetting out whether or not they have your best interest or not. And a lot of people have bent their knee for a lifetime to people that don't have their best interest, or they're spending a lot of their wasted energy trying to win them over. And so just relax. Who cares whether they like you or not? Do you like you or not? There's a big difference between
that's the important thing right there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So, if you're dealing with any kind of system, I mean, imagine if we put it in my clinical world, and you have a whole family tree. And this is a culture. This was actually a cultural thing that happened in Eastern Canada. A whole town for over 100 years were sexualizing everybody all the time. At school, at homes, other homes were sexualizing your kids. And this is going on after generation after generation after generation. That system believes that was normal. Until somebody came into the system and said, this is normal. Yeah, it's not normal. But the whole system couldn't handle it because the whole culture over decades, all of them are been doing the same action. To them, they thought that this was okay. They knew it wasn't okay, but they rationalized that it was okay because they stayed in that Fantasia style of thinking. And it's not okay. It's harmful. And this is harmful stuff. And if I was dealing with any other topic, but the same characteristics that I'm seeing online, it's not okay. Yeah. Now you can sit there, or people can sit there and say, well, Leon, I can't believe you're talking this way. Well, listen, don't listen to me. I don't give a shit if you listen to me, other than check out what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Because you're going to give a shit. Because you're going to find out eventually that they're burning you too. And you're going to feel frustrated, agitated, angry at yourself. You're going to be victimized. And then you're going to victimize yourself because of the other person victimizing you, because you felt so stupidly open to following such a stupid thing. You don't have to be that way. And these people have the right to bear the weight of their stupidity. This is what Brent's talking about. Let that light stay on them. This thing called public shaming, public shaming had its virtues as much as people don't think it does. When you had to walk around a sign, when I was a wee young lad and I was totally screwed up, I got nailed for shoplifting. And it was at a grocery store. And I think I was 9 or 11 or something like that. Strange stuff happened when I was at 9 or 11 to 13. Anyways, so what they did was they made me have to stand and walk around the parking lot with a sign on my front and on my back that I got nailed for shoplifting. Not to mention there was this old guy that was probably, 79 or whatever, walked around. Don't be like this guy. Do you think I ever stole and shoplifted again? And I was so fragmented that person that got me into shoplifting, I didn't realize I didn't have any boundaries. Again, those significant things one needs to keep you out of trouble, those were already stripped of me by the time I was 9, because our family didn't have any boundaries. I wanted it, I just took it. and there was a thrill at taking it, and there was a payback loop that came. Those are all wrong things. I didn't know that. And if you don't figure some of this shit out that you're still carrying now, your life's going to be even more compounded with problems than it is with you being able to get out of those problems. So, public shaming is a good thing. I didn't make the mistake. You made the mistake. You're the one who posted the video. Why would you post those pictures if you know that they're wrong? Because he knows they're wrong. Because we know his backstory.
Absolutely. Come on. This is a case where.
So it's not our job to keep ragging on the guy. It's people's responsibility who are watching this video right now to check into these people, because we're trying to give you a warning sign. Don't keep driving down this road with this guy, because he's going to lead you into the ditch at the end. Well, how do you know that? Don't trust us. Figure it out yourself. That's called education.
Go look.
We're trying to
go look. Go look.
Yeah.
That's the thing, man, is that, this isn't a case of, like a Christopher Noel, where I'm firmly convinced that he believes that a porcupine is a Bigfoot. So I can't put him in the same class as every other hoaxer. But these guys, Mike Patterson and this guy, Colorado Bigfoot,
Mark,
they know. I mean, come on, when you're going to take that photo and you know what you're doing, so, and look, it's what you said, Leah. I understand that right now I'm doing a show that people, they don't want to hear it.
They're hard conversations to have. They're hard discussions.
Some people need to hear it, man. Some people need to hear it. I know lots of people don't need to hear it. I expect all kinds of hate mail from supporters of Colorado Bigfoot.
No, you really won't get any. It seems like
look at the evidence. I would not have done this show if I did not see the evidence right before my eyes. I don't call anybody a hoaxer unless I'm absolutely sure it's a hoax. I'm absolutely sure that's a hoax. Absolutely positive. You can see it right there. And
blatant.
It's like blurry photos of Sasquatch. I may not even comment on them if I run across them.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Blurry pareidolia, I might not say a word because I recognize it for what it is, and if other people don't, I'm not going to convince them that it's pareidolia. But something like this, I'm sorry, I just feel like I have to say something about it, man. And like I said, look, go to the links. Go to the coalition page. Go to his page even and look. I know Grasshopper said that he looked and he couldn't find it, but there's several actually on his page. If you look under the photos, there's several of them of the same one on his page. And I have some starred stuff here. I've been starring your comments, folks, because I want to get to them. Bookwash Crew of BC says, could these guys be called Bigfoot influencers, albeit evil ones? Perhaps. I don't know. Yeah. They're definitely, I guess, Bigfoot influencers, right? To at least some people. And then let's see. Tom Thaler says the hoaxes spread faster than real encounters. I think you're right about that. And then he asks a question. Why do you think hoaxes spread faster than real encounters? And I'll let these other comments I have started. I got two more and then I'll get to them. But answer this. I feel like we should answer this question that Tom has. Why do you think hoaxes spread faster than real encounters? You got something, Brent? Why do you think?
Because they're happening more. And there's a lot of hoaxers out there that either intentionally or unintentionally are hoaxing, and we just don't recognize it because we want to, believe, and we're so trusting, kind of like what Leon says, and maybe now that we're getting awareness, we're now starting to see it more. If you're now starting to see it more, like me, Leon, and a lot of us, we've been seeing it for a long time, but you're just now seeing it. You're just now getting exposed to the information, learning the tools, and accepting that there are hoaxers and people willing to lie to you.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Well, it's gotten to the point where I myself, man, I mean, it just so belittles what happened in August of 2020 to me, and I've gotten to the point to where because of these hoaxers, man, I don't talk. I'm not talking really much about it anymore, except for the people that I trust, to help me make my way along with it. But I mean, yeah, and people say that it's the objective thinkers that keep people from posting or giving their encounters. I don't agree with
No.
that. I think it's the hoaxing, all the hoaxing and BS you see on there. That's what keeps them from saying I saw a Bigfoot, because they know that anybody looking at 90% of this stuff is just going to laugh at them and go, oh, yeah, right. Okay, we know it's all fake. Look at all this fake shit, you know?
Well,
So,
I think
Leon,
there's another
why do you
side of it.
think hoaxes spread
There's a
faster?
there's a there's another side of it, and the other side of it is we're not doing good enough research, like well enough research. Because if
Yeah,
we had well enough research, it would suck the air out of these garbage channels. And but the problem is we get impatient. And that's the problem that I'm seeing culture in the shift is quick time isn't the same as research time. Research time's long time, slow time, and it takes you a lot to figure things out. But the narration doesn't take you any time to figure it out. You just say the narration, and then you start uh, sewing it together. And that's the thing is everyone's saying is parroting other people's narration, but they haven't invented anything, because they don't know any different. And but if people would stop posting things and then post something really spectacular, even if it's not above like in the stars, but really good, something solid, it would shut up a lot of the hoaxers. The only reason why you can get hoaxers is because it's like anything. Once a system gets to the unknown and it stays for a long time in the unknown, that's when the hoaxers come up. That's when your snake oil salesmen come up. When there's a crisis, whenever there's so much unknown, but you make something solid show up, it blows all the bullshit stuff out of the way. And that's why it's important that we do what we're supposed to do, which is learn what to be as a good citizen researcher, what is good research, and provide evidence that helps it move forward. The hoaxers will always be out there. You shut them up by two ways: showing the population of the system good quality stuff, and the second way is using levity to mock the ridiculousness of the other. That's what you do. How many of you have been mocked because you thought of something stupid and you said it when you were a young kid in front of all the people? Well, I believe that, flying ponies are real. The peer pressure shuts you up. Unfortunately, it also shut up people that did have encounters, like myself. Did you guys see that? See what? That monkey on the back of a moose. It
right.
shuts you up. But we don't want to shut the people up that deserve to have a voice. We want to shut the people up who are causing problems for the people who should have a voice that can't have a voice. And this is what, like the idea that this temperamentalness that is outside right now in the world in general, which is I'm just offended. Get over yourself. I get offended all the time. I don't agree with a lot of people all the time, but I don't slice, dice, and julienne fry them. I can disagree without, like the truth is going to set me free. But I have found that first it'll piss me off because I don't want to be pissed. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to look like an idiot, especially after being online and talking to people. But in the same sense, I would rather be re-educated if I am wrong, so I stop verbagely puking out garbage.
Yeah.
And it might hurt and bruise my ego, but that's okay with me. I can only
Yeah.
do the best me I can do. That's all I can do. And that includes a whole bunch of flaws. Now, the difference between me and you, us three, compared to these other channels, they aren't going to talk to you like that because they can't bear under the pressure of being exposed. You will be exposed in life. This is the number one fear in toddlers, eyes on you, that you're going to be exposed. You know, a lot of these people are psychologically stuck at different stages of development, from what I can tell. It's like, or they've had crisis and they've regressed back into that stage, even though they're in adult bodies, and they can't move out of it because they if I get exposed, you know, I want to be exposed if I'm wrong. Like, I don't know why this is so complicated for people. See the passion in which I say that? You have the right to release the hounds on me if I show you any data of evidence. Because what happens with that releasing of the hounds is all of us start looking at it. Is there something there to the look at hoarders? My God, we're doing tons of hoarding of just garbage stuff. And as soon as you try to throw something out, oh, I need that piece of paper. Well, it's been sitting here since 2021 or 2000. Yeah, but I might need it for something. But it's not got any value to it. I don't care. I'm going to cling to it. And this is that clinginess.
Yeah.
Instead of understanding what on the other side, if you let it go, freedom, knowledge, insight, solidness. There's a lot of reward that comes back to you when you're investigating. And if anything, investigating Sasquatches can give you back powers you lost when you were a little kid. But it can't if the system is crazy and you're in one of these channels that are crazy. Period.
Yeah.
You know, shoot me.
Yeah.
I can guarantee
that's really true right there.
Well, you know,
that's really true. People should go rewind that after the show and rewatch that part right there. That's a good discussion right there.
And
because you're talking to three people who are watching us right now. We're talking to three people. One guy who thinks that he saw a baby Sasquatch on the back of a moose. Another guy over this way who has seen one 3 years ago at the prime age of 56 years old, I think, Joe, you know, and then you got Jay in the chat, and then you got Brent who wants to see one again. We're not helping these people. You know, did I fill in the blanks when I was a kid thinking I saw it? Maybe I did, but I want to know if I'm right about it. That is not even enough for me to keep following why I think a Sasquatch is out there. But for God's sake, shut up if you're not going to do what you need to do. I'm not talking to the chat people, by the way. I'm not talking to any people. I'm talking about these people out there that are just verbagely garbaging more stuff into the hoarder's household on the Bigfoot community. And that when you talked about, you know, Jerry asked about, can these be Bigfoot influencers? I think that's the major problem. When I deal with a dysfunctional system that's really toxic, I have to go into that system because they're all in denial still and say the thing that everyone else doesn't want to say. I have to say it so that the idea starts getting back into a reality. I can't go in there delusionally tiptoe around. You're sexually abusing your child. You're a raging alcoholic. You understand what that is doing to you and your family. You know, well, I don't want to deal with it. I don't care if you want to deal with it. You better deal with it because it's going to deal with you. It's going to make you in isolation. It's going to make you, and you're following scripts in your head that are lying to you. That's the other thing too. Like, you want to be set free? Well, truth will set you free, but it'll piss you off first because you're going to have to fight with yourself first. Do I want to know the truth or don't I want to know the truth? Yes.
Well, that's a hard thing for people to do, though, is to ask themselves that question and take that journey. And a lot of people don't, you know, and that's kind of the unfortunate thing. And they get taken advantage of by those people.
It's hard, man. I mean, it was hard for me to give up all the confirmation bias that I was developing years ago by looking at this stuff online. You know, you guys, I've said it before, you know, how I've been, you know, and when I was looking around, younger men running through the woods, looking around, camping, whatever, you know, I didn't know any of this stuff. And then all of a sudden I see everything online and then I see all this stuff and I get confirmation bias, but I'm like, you know, I am such, you know, it was really after my encounter that really changed me, man. And it was like, I've really got to find out the truth about this thing, man. And then I realized that all of this other stuff that was so sunk in that, you know, that I was falling for wasn't real, man. And it's like, dude, I can't imagine the crushing blow that some people find when they see that somebody they're following actually hoax something, you know, because I don't care who you are. I don't care how rabid of a fan you are of a certain person. When that person gets exposed that, look, they hoaxed this picture. I don't care how rabid a fan. That's got to put a thing in your mind about, well, how much other of this stuff that I've been following this person on is not real either, you know? And like you said, Brent, some don't care and some will just go along with it just because they're entertained, but
Yeah, I read a letter though. I read a letter, poorly read the letter because apparently I'm still learning to read. But I read a letter that somebody wrote me of what the experience that they went through with the whole trapper, because that was the person who actually told me about the hoax and showed me and like, hey, can you help verify this and stuff? And I read that letter about how they felt, the process, the emotions that they went through, and it's spot on of what I went through,
Yeah.
what we all go through.
Yeah.
And it's hard to go through that. It's hard. You need support. You do need support. And I think that's probably why they reached out to me saying, hey, what do you think? Can you help me verify this? Help support my belief in that this is a hoax. And that's great, because there was none of that back in the day. Like again, when I spoke up about the Bigfoot tree, the first podcast I went on, they're telling me, oh, you shouldn't do that. You should just go away and
yeah.
blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, well, I had a discussion with somebody today, and and I don't have anything negative to say about that person. I'm not going to mention him by name. It was just a discussion. I have nothing negative to say about the person that I was discussing, but this is the type of thing he might look at this and go, well, this is the reason why people don't want to post pictures online because, and he said, I've seen some amazing pictures that people have showed me that don't go up online. And that what you're doing here, and I just made the comment that, okay, well, I don't see what's in this picture. I said this is inconclusive, and it might be bordering on pareidolia. That's my opinion. Well, he didn't like it. We had a civil conversation about it though, and he said, this is the reason why a lot of people don't. And I'm like, well, you know what? If putting up blurry pictures and me saying something that stops putting up blurry and inconclusive stuff with people claiming that it's a Bigfoot. Now, this wasn't his picture either. So this is something he found online, was just commenting on. And if that's what happens, if that cuts down on it by me saying something, and even something civil as this is inconclusive, it's not real evidence, sorry. Then great to me,
Is there any proof?
Is there any
proof though? Is there any proof that people don't post because somebody got caught posting a hoax photo? I don't really know the stats on it, so it's really disingenuous for somebody to come at you like that, saying, "Hey, you're kind of the problem here. You're the reason why this isn't such a wide open, cum de law, whatever type of fest, whatever."
Well, yeah, basically,
It's just like the whole thing with what I was just talking about of like, oh, you're trying to police it, trying to make up like these adversarial blocks to make you think that you're not doing something right when you're doing everything right. And so the people that say that stuff, man, really irritate the shit out of me, because it's like, what's your problem? What the hell is your problem with me talking about this? Yeah. Why are you trying to stop me? It's like, those people irritate the shit out of me. And I get it from not so many people now, but I get it. But it's like, damn, dude, what's your problem? Really? What's your problem?
Yeah. I mean, he was like, basically,
Sorry.
if you don't have anything positive to say, then don't say anything. And I'm like,
I'm in fifth grade. Fuck
and
that.
I basically, like I said, we had a civil discussion about it. And I said, well, we have a difference of opinion.
He's trying to manipulate you, though. He's trying to manipulate you into not thinking the way you're thinking.
It's like, we have a difference of opinion here. And am I going to stay quiet? No, I'm not. Sorry. I'm not I can't do it. Nope. Because this makes me and anybody else who's had an encounter, that just makes all of us look like idiots and and just receive ridicule from people. And I'm just weary of it,
I would have more belief in the subject if it wasn't for the hoaxers,
Absolutely.
What you're saying is so true. I am a very good example of that. I would have more belief in everything if it wasn't for them. And that's one reason why I'm sticking up for you guys in a way to like, hey, look at these guys up to no good. You know, you guys are really ruining the integrity of the subject, of the people who, you know, we do feel are having encounters and stuff. So, you know, to get, you know, when people say, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, or, oh, you know, you're just making it so people don't speak up. Wah, wah, wah. That's what I hear is wah.
Well, like I said,
Wah, wah, wah.
or like Leon said, you know, yeah, I mean, and I wish we did have better other evidence on the scientific side, the people that are trying honestly to answer this.
Be nice.
You know, we got people pushing the ball forward, though. I am hopeful on that because there are some things coming up. Darby Olcott, Doug Highcheck, with they're really trying to push the ball down the line with the DNA stuff
and boots on the ground,
at least
like Matt
Wizard. There are
Wizard.
some honest people involved in doing this DNA study, and they're going to do it correctly. You know, so I do have some hope about that. I got a couple other comments because I love keeping the chat involved here. I'm just going to pull them up. This one, I take Cindy's meaning when she says, I still say the hoaxers get what they want in the long run. And that may be true. That, you know, some people don't care. As long as they get attention, they don't care if it's negative or positive, as long as they've gotten the attention. Grasshopper says, and I'm sorry about this, Graz, I don't remember it, but he said, Joe, talk about the post I put in the coalition of that Bigfoot sighting alleged on video. I'm not sure. I can't talk about it because I'm not sure which one, Graz, but everybody, if you hit the link and go to the coalition.
Oh, is that the one with Long Island Bigfoot, Mike, dude? That Long Island.
Oh, that one. Oh, that one. Yeah, that's on there. That's on there. The one. I don't know. Okay. That one, I'm going to tell you, I think I watched it, and I personally think somebody was freaking themselves out over a dark spot on a tree. I mean, because I couldn't see anything moving other than the camera.
They pulled a cameraman crew LARP stream, did they? Is that what they're doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I didn't watch it.
The way it sounded, though, I will be fair about this. The way it sounded, the one dude actually, I mean, I don't think it was acting. I think he really was scared and terrified, thinking he was seeing something. But I don't think there was anything there. I didn't see anything there. So, yeah. This one I picked out just because I just thought it was amusing. Cindy said, I was blatantly upset.
I love that.
Sunshine's got a good question, actually. She says, and I can tell you this. Question, if you all woke up tomorrow and there were no hoaxers, what would you do then? I'd be out in the woods. I'll tell you that. I'm still going to be out in the woods, whether there's hoaxers or not. But, you know, you're right. If there were no hoaxers, what would I do then? I would have all kinds of time to concentrate on something else.
Yeah, I mean, talking about hoaxers really doesn't take up any more of my time. I mean, it doesn't, in the whole Bigfoot scheme of it, really doesn't, because it's like, it's pretty easy to talk about them. You know, you try to figure out research and do the boots on the ground and all that stuff, which is a little harder because that's more involved. And, you know, you got to deal with weather, schedules, work, blah, blah, blah. And so it's a little harder, but, you know, there's nothing wrong with
I think the other side of that, the flip side of that question too, is like, change the word hoaxer to scammers. It doesn't matter what system you're in. There's tons of scammers. It doesn't matter what system. You get phone calls all the time from scammers. You're getting, you know, emails from scammers all the time. You know, like that's been around forever. It's got nothing to do with what you're trying to do is make yourself the best individual you possibly can by educating yourself, about your own cognitive dissonance, your own cognitive biasness, what you're vulnerable to. You want to patch the holes that are in your world belief system so that you have a less percentage of being led astray, especially in your perception of yourself, which is what I deal with all the time in the office. Is most people have a totally incorrect, wrong perception of themselves that is now parasited itself onto your emotional belief system about yourself, that you're somehow a waste of skin, that you're some kind of failure. You're a little less. There's something a little less about you compared to everybody else. Bullshit. You know, and I mean, that's what I look at it like. We joke about it all the time. It's like, for God's sake, we're talking about a Sasquatch here. Really? Like, there's this much weight and importance on the topic of a Sasquatch. You got people who you know who are going through brutal situations in their life. You think they care about it? You think their big thing is, if I could just get my arms and my legs working now, if I could just find a Sasquatch, that'll help me do that. No, there's more major issues in life than that. The topic of anything unknown, the mystery, the mystery has been around in the human mind for decades. And healthy mystery helps you negotiate awkward mysteries that you have in your life that you're trying to negotiate, but not if it's scab information that you're drawing from. And the idea that we're sitting here wasting well, you guys are always talking about negative stuff. We're trying to tell you, be cautious. That's it. Yep. If you get that, if everyone in the chat says, okay, we get that, Leon, be cautious. Good. Get one other friend to admit it that in chat, not in chat, out in life. Be cautious. Once we know that you're cautious, then we move on to the next audience. We move on to the next people. That life is complicated, and the nice thing about life being complicated, and you have a good, healthy community when it's complicated, like a lot of people in our chats do, we try to communicate to each other. Yeah. Offline, online, like even behind the scenes for the chat channel people, because we want to be fair about things, because we know people are watching us, and we know that what we say is directly connected to our character, and our character is flawed. My character is flawed. It came out of a really background, Why wouldn't it be flawed? My sense of value and worth was worthless, so I made worthless choices. I didn't even know what a worthwhile choice was, because I was just going through this thing, walking into a system. My first system, my family system. Your first system was your family system, and then your community system, and then your cultural system that you live in, and you were raised in. And then you go online to these other systems like Sasquatch systems or UFO systems or like that. You better learn, if you don't have a solid sense of knowing what you know and knowing how to trust your basic powers, so they're not still being hijacked by other sources, then you're going to be gullible. And you're going to be gullible either way, and I'm going to be gullible either way. The thing is, it's okay. It's normal. That's what a normal human being does as you work this difficult thing called life through. So you're just trying to be as honest as you can, so you're helping other people be as honest as they can. And we're all scared to death. Like, I don't know anyone who's not scared to death.
More or less, yeah, right? Right? Yeah. It's like I lost what I was going to say. It was in response to what you were saying there, Leon. Now, I'll remember what it was, but in the meanwhile, Kaiju brought up his opinion. I remember now. Kaiju brought up his opinion. He said the reason why hoaxers spread faster is because they show something rather than telling something. People want to see visual things. That's why it spreads. And I think he's got a point there. I think
Tristan for the win.
Tristan for the win, yeah. Now, the other thing I was going to say is this type of thing, what we're doing right now, this is one of the reasons why I think, of course, Richter Riolo probably drew a lot of hate from the Bigfoot community. Now, he may have other reasons he thinks it is, but I think this is one of the reasons why. Now, I don't agree with everything on Richter Riolo. Most pointedly, I don't agree with him when he said that anybody who says they've ever seen a Bigfoot is a liar. I don't agree with that. But this is one of the reasons, because he would point out hoaxers, man.
Well, it's the way he did it that was so derogatory to the actual people.
Well, true.
That he was more projecting his own issues onto these people than he was actually trying to create discussions about the actual hoaxing and stuff. So
part of it was he was sticking a thorn in some people's sides that they weren't on the up and up. I believed it. So. And I could see it, I mean, he would, and I'm, like I said, I don't agree with everything with him about it. The whole thing about that kind of pissed me off when he said anybody who says that they've seen one's liar, because I know that's not true. And yeah, I'm going to state that. And I know a lot of people be like, you can't say that 100%. Well, okay, but I know that's not true. Not everybody is lying. Not everybody is lying. But yeah, I mean, you know, this is the type of thing that he would have pointed out. I can guarantee you, if he'd have gotten his claws in it, he would have been like, "Look, guys, this is the Sasquatch, the Jack Lynch Sasquatch."
Well, yeah, same with like the Bigfoot Tonys and
Bigfoot Tony
Phils
would have
and
too. Yeah,
yeah, in the
absolutely.
coalition, and people come and go as far as trying to contribute to the hoaxing issue that the subject has, and some are more successful than others. And I appreciate what Richter tried to do with it. But yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I'm like I said, but this is why, because when we start doing this, as I said earlier, now we're starting to, as Thomas Steenberg would say, we or no, actually, I'm sorry, Leon, I was about to attribute what you said to Thomas, but these are sacred cows, man, and when you start attacking people's sacred cows, they get upset. And I'm sorry about that. I really am. But I'm trying to protect or inform people before they get sucked into the BS, man. That's
And you're
all
not
I.
a bad person for doing that. People try and gaslight you maybe into thinking you're a bad person for doing that, but nah, you're not.
I know I'm
People
not
who
a bad
speak up
person.
about the truth and defend what's right are good people. And we should stand behind those people. Like with you, how we're here, for your discussion with the Mike Pat or the who is it this week? God,
It's getting like that, isn't it?
Colorado
Who,
Bigfoot.
who is
Yeah.
it this week? Who is it this
Which
week?
is great. Let's take all these influencers on. I'd love for actually, I just got another email about somebody that you guys probably all know that's a hoaxer. And yeah,
Get
I'm going to
out
do a
of
video
here.
about it. And I don't care what anybody says because they're hoaxing.
Come on.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're just making this up.
And
Brent. You just want
welcome to
the
all the new
limelight. You want
people.
your viewers
I
to
want the
sort of
attention. I want it
yeah.
all. Give me the
That's it. That's
attention.
it.
You're jealous.
Give it.
Yeah.
You're all
Attention whore.
jealous. You're all jelly.
Welcome to
Joe,
everybody
you remember what
new
you were
in
going
the
to
chat
say?
that jumped in. And I see you, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Nikki didn't get the notification. Yeah, somebody else didn't either. Go ahead, Leon.
I was just going to say, do you remember what you were going to say? Because you said you forgot it, and then Kaiju asked the question, and then you were
that
going
was
to
the
go.
thing about Richter and about him
Oh,
taking
okay.
hate. And I mean, yeah, look, as people point out, Brent pointed out, yeah, there was other reasons why people disliked him, probably, but that's neither here nor there. People are going to dislike somebody no matter what. Lots of people, if they watch this, they might dislike me, but I'm sorry about that. I'm not here
Yeah,
for a
it's all right.
popularity contest.
You
I'm really
probably
not.
weren't going to
I'm
be
not
good
here
friends with
for a
them
popularity
anyways.
contest.
Probably don't even know them.
I'm here for the truth, man. I'm here to figure out what's going on out there, man, in the most honest and objective way that I possibly can.
And that's why I think it's important that naming names is really a good thing to do, because if we don't, then we don't know who we're talking about, who are up to the shenanigans and stuff. And, that's the important thing of, like, again, puts names in the titles, and everybody should be doing videos, even little shorts, even little meme laughing things, like point and laugh. Like you're saying, make fun of it, make fun of this stuff, because that's what we need to show the insanity of it, is a lighthearted, make fun of it. That's what everybody should do, is make fun of this video.
Yeah, and you want to deliver it, like if you're going to write
His
something on a
picture.
post and it's a scam, you don't have to say, well, that's bullshit. Just say, I don't
Right.
want to be a
Yeah.
negative Nancy, but that's actually this from this. So people know and they can check it out. It's not
Right.
like, but I find spoonful sugar does help the medicine go down a little bit, because they'll immediately think, oh, you're trolling, and stuff like this. And when you say, well, I don't want to be a negative Nancy here, but this is from, like, when I first saw that picture, I thought, I've seen this picture as well. But then you came up, or the response came up so quickly, I thought, well, there's no reason you have to say anything because it's already been let out of the bag. I am curious to find out Mike Patterson's bass, though. I've been hunting on that one today. I think there, I I have a couple suspicions of what's going on there, but I want to make sure I can show it. I'll send it to Nikki. By the way, Nikki, you're in chat. I'll send it to you and say, okay, I think this is what's going on here. So
Yeah.
but
Well, he actually commented on the coalition post about his stuff. I think it was the coalition. No. It was on Brian Sharp King. When Brian
Right.
Sharp King put it up and said, "Look, I'm weary of this shit." And Brian was like, "Look, you can come on the show and talk about this and show your stuff. And if we're wrong, show us where we're wrong. You know, blah, blah, this and that." And he wrote several comments. Mike did, and of course, his comments were very condescending. Very, you guys don't know nothing. He's chose the hill he's going to die on. They're real pictures. Blah 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 blah.
Yep.
And you guys don't know nothing. None of you have ever had an experience. Blah blah blah.
Yep.
And yeah, so you know that's something that I've tried to be diplomatic about, and basically told him, you know, pretty presumptuous of you to assume that you know what everybody's experiences here are. You know,
He
that's
still
a
hasn't
matter,
blocked me. Mike
period.
still hasn't blocked me, and I've been pretty like direct to him here lately. And his last message was like, "Please don't contact me no more." After him sending me this long rant email. Aw, that's no fun. Come on.
You know,
But I'll respect that. You know, I'll respect it.
well, yeah, sure.
Hey, JC, I have some JC here.
Hi, JC. Welcome. Thanks for coming again.
Oh, hey, so
JC says, Cindy Finch, you're talking. At some point, we wake up to what mean is. No use for that nonsense in my life. Boundaries are so important.
yeah, boundaries are important.
Absolutely.
Hey, does anybody know the guy who writes the stories that another individual? I don't want to out him, even though I say names, but you know, this isn't a bad thing or anything. But the guy, you know, like the story channels, how they read the stories, how there's people that will actually write the stories for you. And I'm trying to get the guy who writes the stories so I can kind of talk to him and you know, get some information. So have you guys heard anything about that? Like, have any leads?
Well, what do you mean actually is it one particular channel that writes the stories, or because there's a variety of those type of channels out there?
No, it's an individual outside of the Bigfoot community, outside of YouTube, that just writes various stories for different people, just because to help give them content. That's, you know, how people do narrations and stuff. And you know, I heard about it on a podcast the other day, and I reached out to the person that mentioned it, and I still haven't heard back from him. So, hey, man, if you're out there, can you please respond? Because I'm very interested. Because he mentioned somebody, not directly, but you know, I kind of can't really. I think I got it figured out. And if it is that person, then holy shit, game on, guys. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna have some fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm wondering if
I'm wondering if you're doing what I was suggesting to Eric the other day on his show there, where he was talking. I don't want to say what it is because I don't want to reveal it because it sounds like you don't want to reveal everything. But I think it's a great setup. if you're doing what I think you're doing, and I think you should. And I mean, it'll be totally like. So, you know, I don't let people off. Like when I'm dealing with people, like professionally, when I'm teaching a course and that, man, you better believe I'm going to go because sometimes you need awakening. You know, like come out of your denial and delusion. Like this is sick. This is harmful to you. Do you see that? Oh no, it can't be. They love me. No, they don't. They don't give a shit about you. They just are out to use you to your bitter end, and then they're going to throw you away and go on to the next person because it's not about you at all. They don't care about you. They don't care what you're saying. They care about what their agenda is. And
there's always an influx of people coming in to fill that role of the people who are out, and it's always usually the year 1 to 3 people that are in that group until they kind of get out. You still have the long-term people, but you know, that seems like it's just a lot of the newbies coming in, and man, there's so many of them that they just, man, it's one of the first searches that come up. Colorado Bigfoot, everybody knows about him. It's blatant.
Yeah. Well, you know, and that's the thing, man, is like, you know, these pictures, it's like what goes through. This is all I think, and it's part of it, and I can't figure it out. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this picture from the Jack links and I'm going to put it in here and post it on my page. And I'm pretty sure that none of the people that follow me are even going to look into it. They're just going to accept it. And I'm going to go along my merry way, not even thinking that, okay, if people are following you, the example right there, the other page that was like, these are amazing photos by Colorado Bigfoot. Somebody may grab it and put it up, and you don't know that eventually out online somebody's going to look at that. They're going to, like TJ, Tommy John, recognize that Sasquatch and go, dude, this is BS. So I don't understand the psychology, I guess, because I'm not a psychologist.
Well, that's the thing. It's the narcissist, and we don't understand their behavior because we are not narcissists. We don't have their mind frame. We can't. You're not ever going to understand them. Don't feel bad that you don't, and don't expect to ever feel that you will, because they operate in ways that are just baffling. Like, wow, that's short-sighted. We would never do something like that. But nope, narcissist is like, game on, mofos, let's do it.
Yeah,
and they do.
Why do you think that there are absolutely zero photos on my page of blurry stump squatches and circles with red arrows and all that stuff? Because, dude, that's not me, man. I'm not trying to, get people to, oh, look, this guy's just the best Bigfoot researcher in the whole wide world. It's probably just the opposite. There's probably a lot of people out there that, look at the stuff I get. Oh, this guy's just a negative Nancy. He says he saw a Sasquatch.
You don't have evidence.
He says he saw a Sasquatch, but he doesn't believe anybody else, blah, blah, blah. And that's not true, because there's plenty of people that I believe ran into a Sasquatch.
Hey, man, at least you saw one. I got like double nothing there. Like, I haven't seen one end. I can't really.
Well, it took me 45 years, man. I never thought I'd ever encounter this. And, if I hadn't 3 years ago, I would still be thinking I'm never going to see one, but, I mean, it's like, dude, it's like, it's not that I do believe people. That's the thing. But I don't believe hoaxers, man.
Trust but verify.
I just,
Well, I mean, you shouldn't believe hoaxers, and they're, that's the thing is, for whatever reason, I don't know what it is. It's easier to talk about the hoaxers now, and that's great because, man, they really need to be talked about. Accountability is important. It helps with that healthy system Leon is talking about, and accountability is a big part of that.
Yeah, and there's a key word too, is intent. So in order for him to do that picture, he had intent because he knew. And that's what we're talking about. That is shifty. That is a person you don't follow. That's a person that if you're going to follow him, you're going to check out what his intent is on these things. And his intent is to make you believe that what he has is Sasquatch stuff. But he's not showing you any reason, and nor does he have a narration explaining, this is the key word, explaining how he knows it's a Sasquatch. It's always declarational. That's a Sasquatch. Look at those trees crossing over there.
Oh, you gotta trust me. What's it? He uses a very, very specific verbiage of that reassurance verbiage to his audience constantly throughout all his videos. And
trust me. Look, you guys, look. Yeah. We remember him when he first started
blatant.
out. And again, like Rio, with intent, he chose to add those sounds to the Wallow video, which he should have just left alone, but he didn't. When a person crosses the line with intent, again, intent is, where did the picture come from? Why did he put it to Mike Patterson again? Why did he put those up there? He's standing right there. If he's using a camera, which is probably his cell phone, it's right there. Who could be videotaping it? He could be videotaping it coming up and going down. He could be videotaping it. But why doesn't he do that? He has not mind to think, oh, it's sitting right there. I better take a picture of it. Fuck that. We're in modern days now, guys. It's 2023. Video. You had a video camera right with you, right there, 5 feet away from you. videotape it. Even it comes because you're going to see so much real.
Yeah. Well, with that, it was
control.
Dwayne. Yeah, Dwayne, his partner, took the picture, and there was nothing in the picture, or there was nothing standing there when he said, or when Dwayne took the two pictures, until he looked at him later, and poof, there was Bigfoot there, and this was 2019.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to believe that Dwayne was just taking two pictures randomly at this fence thing with towels on it, and that's how Bigfoot showed up in it. But yeah, it's same insanity. It's like
Kaiju, that's not praise.
That shows up on the face of the picture.
That's not
Go
praise
ahead, Joe,
that
sorry.
I feel I deserve there, Kaiju. Joe, you're the best researcher because you don't post BS pareidolia. Now, there's researchers out there way, way better than me. What I have on my side, an attribute I have on my side, is I try to be honest and genuine. That's all. That's all.
That's the signs of a great researcher right there.
I'm not the best investigator. I know almost absolutely nothing about Bigfoot except for what I experienced in the woods. That's it. I don't know anything else. Everything else about Bigfoot is purely hypothesis on my point.
Yeah, but the thing about you, Joe, is you're honest. That is what we're asking for. Honesty. You're not bullshitter. You're not trying to make people follow your channel. I'm not trying to make people follow my channel. Like if people want to follow it, I have enough people already. If I have a class of 100 people where I get to teach them good stuff, that's great enough for me, kind of stuff, and the rest of the stuff, like the scammers in every field out here, doesn't matter what it is, wherever people can make money. And again, like with the new, I just watched the new thing on the AI coming up, it's stuff we've been talking about isn't even close to what's coming down the pike. Like to do videos up on the spot for you, making up the visuals of me right now, right at the same time as I'm doing it. So it's splicing it in as I'm talking right now. And you're not going to know it's not me. Like there's stuff coming down that with the different styles of AIs that are out there. They're they're doing it the moment you say it. It's no longer having to just come up with a picture, blah 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 blah. It's going to do it for you. Tell it what you want it to do. It's going to do it in seconds for you, and it's going to look as real as what we look like. And this is the thing: is it's going to get a lot more complicated out there. That's why I see also what's going to come up is people have to come up. Society has to come up with a way of negotiating that. And they will, because we always do. But
that's
go ahead, Brent.
That's the developing of the tools that we need to better vet this stuff out. So when we come into a piece of evidence, we don't blindly believe it. We have the right mindset. We have the right tactics that we're going to use to figure this out. Is this a real AI thing, or is this a real photo? So that's the thing that I think that people should really be focusing on, is developing the mindset and the tools necessary to combat what is coming down. Because I could only imagine how in the next 5 to 10 years, how bad this subject's going to be, just with hoaxing and just crap out there. So
these guys, they get a hold of AI and start knowing how to use it well. Oh my God, it's going to be such a circus that you might as well forget what you're seeing online. And about the only backup that I can only hope that I have out of that is that we're still going to have that small percentage that I think is about maybe 10%. I don't know. I haven't done like calculus on these statistics, but if I'm looking at 90% of what I see, in my opinion, is all BS, those guys, and the 10% of the people that are out there trying to really delve into this honestly, like Media Palace, he just showed up, and any of the people in chat that are, even Sasquatch Wizards Adirondacks, God, how many other people can I name? All these other guys, Finding the Trackway, Donald Fuller, and all these guys. Maybe if they were, these are people that we know. At least I'm pretty sure, in my opinion. I don't. They wouldn't hoax shit, right? So they're not going to try to be putting up this AI shit. Could I imagine like Alex Petikoff trying to do some bullshit with AI? No. But it is going to turn into a circus with this hoaxers if they get it when they get well versed in AI. And oh boy, are their fans gonna be like in Bigfoot heaven then, won't they? And I don't know what to do then, except for be like, well,
Yeah, talking
guys,
about
we
the tools
warned
necessary
we
to better
warned
vet it
you
out.
earlier, man. We tried to tell you earlier. We showed you the receipts, man. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the field's going to be like in the next 5 to 10 years because of that. That's why, I feel a urgency of getting stuff out there for people in the future to better combat that. Because I don't, man, I cannot imagine what that's going to look like. I don't think I could be in the Bigfoot subject like actively, like in Facebook groups or anything, trying to, just because you couldn't. It's just putting one fire out after another. Can't do it. It's too much.
Well, the
Yeah.
key part again is somebody has to, and I mean, it's nice to say it, but there's got to be people who don't worry about coming online showing us anything unless you got something really cool to show us, and that will shut up and have to upgrade these other people. And you can't, scammers can't upgrade their stuff because they only mimic what the narration is. If you got something that's solid, it's hard for them to fight against a channel like that or presentation like that. And it doesn't matter what it is. And plus, the other side of what's coming down the pike culturally is that everything's getting more and more uncertain. Meaning knowledge, there's tons of knowledge out there, information, but the ability for a culture as a collective to be maintaining its rational capacity to analyze things is getting saturated with dump trucks and dump trucks and dump trucks of just information. And so it's very fatiguing for anybody because it's just too, like, human beings are made to be able to absorb things. That's why younger kids have, like, when you're a toddler, you have twice the amount of brain cells developing in your brain because you're picking in data really quickly. As you get older, like me at 59 years old, I can sense my capacity of my brain cells getting lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser. More information starts coming. It's too wary on an old guy like me to be able to negotiate. And I reflect on that quite often about when I was younger. I had more capacity to absorb, analyze, and quickly change things. But as time moves forward, it's getting to the point when the younger generation, like you, Brent, and stuff like that, are going to get so bogged down that that's going to psychologically really affect a lot of people. We're not just talking Bigfoot stuff. We're just talking in general. Is what's going to hold you solid in yourself when everything is speculation instead of, what do I know for sure about myself? I don't even know for sure. Most people are still answering that question for my generation, let alone the next generation, which is reality TV, whatever's on YouTube, whatever I'm hearing, it's like, do you have a life? Like, I want to do another little scientific thing because I love doing these little tests with people. I want to find out, can I go fishing with anybody without them talking about anything other than fishing? Or camping, just camp stuff, it's going to go into the deep philosophical discussion about, or political discussion or religious discussion, or it's like, I just want to fish, I want to catch a fish, I want to get slimed on by a fish. I want to, you remember those days, Joe? Remember those days when we just would get on the bikes and ride down to the pond and go fishing? Like,
Yeah,
that was good enough back in those days. Well, no, everyone's got to tell you their opinion about whatever's going on. Like when I went and saw Jordan Peterson, somebody said to me the night before, I just don't like that guy. You want to tell me why you don't like that guy? Well, I just don't like that guy. Okay, well, that's nice. But what are you basing it on? He's hated on both sides. So it's like,
yeah. I don't guess he's losing sleep over it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, he accepts that, he's going to be polarizing and divisive, that you can't let that stop you with your message. And that's people like that. That's the mindset that they need to have if they're going to go be in a position like that.
Jeff brings up a interesting comment. He said, I said 2 years ago, can you imagine if someone like Hijack wanted to dupe the community with his production and creative tools at hand? We would all be effed. Now
Yep.
everyone will have those tools. Yeah,
Yep.
and I firmly believe, of course, that Doug Hijack has more integrity than that. But I take the point very,
Yeah, some
very
of it
much.
in his position and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I take the point
Yeah.
very, very much that, yeah, imagine these hoaxers, they don't care. They don't care.
Well, think of Standing's video of the Sasquatches coming around. It's at nighttime. He's filming. Get out of here! Get
Oh,
out
with
of
the
here!
flare.
Yeah, yeah, and so you're thinking again. You're hearing the narration. You're watching the video. You buy that there might be a Sasquatch out there. Oh my god! Oh my god! No, but it's not showing you anything really. All you're hearing is the atmosphere he's trying to provide over the camera, and that's what I talked about a couple of years ago. Is you give me a couple of good guys and good audio equipment, I can guarantee I can set it up because I do illusions when I'm teaching too. I can set up a video where people would but I can't do it because it's deceptive. It's part of
All
my
you need is like a
character not to be
Bluetooth
able to do
speaker.
it. I can't do it. I would
And,
do it
They'll
and,
as
have to
uh,
react
and,
with like a Bluetooth speaker.
and just
yeah,
to add on
absolutely.
to
I mean,
it,
and again, you're putting narration there. It's spooky. The whole thing
yeah.
of doing when I
What's
did
with
That's
Field
what the
Camp.
that's what the
yeah,
cameraman crew does with their
I
live
s-
streams is they create
yes,
those narratives. Oh my God, there's shadow.
I saw something like that the other day. I don't remember who it was, but they put in this music, and I was like, "What's the music for, man?" I mean, I
Yeah,
don't get it. I don't.
I
What
think I
is
know
that
which
all
video.
about? But
Yeah.
just to add on to what I said earlier, with Doug, the thing with Doug is now there's things that Doug explores that he's interested in. That okay, yeah, personally, I'm not that interested in them. I find them intriguing sometimes. But the thing is with Doug, he really enjoys the mysteries of things
He
and he
does.
really wants to delve into them. But with that, he also wants the truth of the mystery. He doesn't want to just be like, oh, I believe this just because, look, I'm putting this up, I must believe it. No, that's not what he does. He really wants to dig in and find out the actual what's going on with this mystery, whether it's, Dogman or Mothman or whatever. But he's not someone that's out there to just blow smoke up your ass. He's bringing you something. A lot of people find. I love Monster Quest. Um,
Oh yeah, man,
so
that was a shizzle.
and people want to try to say, well, look at what these people are doing, and yet you think those are good. Well, yeah, of course, because they're not trying to blow smoke up my ass. They're just presenting something. They're trying to dig into it, and they're not trying to, make
Sensationalize it.
statements of fact about shit that aren't.
Yeah, and those
Yeah,
are entertainment those are for entertainment purposes only.
absolutely right.
They're not going on there going, well, this is what's true and this is what's going on.
Right.
It's entertainment.
Absolutely.
That's the thing that's what's getting blurred is entertainment compared to education. And the thing is, it's easy to get educated because I use entertainment all the time when I'm educating people. But the goal is to get them educated, not just stuck with an idea over here where they're stuck in a Fantasia style idea of hypnotic trance induced in early childhood of, oh my God, mysteries are real, mermaids are real. I'm going to ask people $20,000 worth so I can get DNA tests done
Mermaid
on
DNA
the Nephilim. So there
or
we go with their voice.
Dogman DNA. Yeah, good luck.
It's like,
Good luck getting DNA from something that isn't real.
yeah, well, we'll come up with something, but like, I don't know. I'm glad you guys are doing what you're doing, so I can move on to the next stage, which is going to cause more problems for people too. So I want to help people stay in
Troublemaker.
reality. So yeah, I know, but the next part is ready for the next part now. So you guys are doing all the other stuff, which is great. I don't have to worry about that. I can focus on what I wanted to focus on now. So
I have to pull this up because it's just something out of the blue, and I'm walked into the middle of the conversation. Eyes in the woods said, Donald, my ass is throbbing. Okay. Sorry to hear that, dear. I hope it stops soon. Thank you for joining the chat, Eyes. But somebody asked a question earlier, and I don't remember who it was. Somebody asked a question earlier in the chat. Something like, if Bigfoot is proven to everybody's satisfaction, would there still be hoaxers? I don't know. Probably,
What
especially
did,
with
what did you
AI.
say? Oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah.
You
I
know?
wasn't too sure what the first part you said. If they found a Bigfoot, would there still be hoaxers?
Yeah,
Is that what
if
you said?
Bigfoot was proven to exist to everybody in the world's satisfaction, would there still be hoaxers?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think there probably would be because it's the personality. It's hoaxing fills some kind of itch that they have, I guess.
But there's
Well,
going
it's
to
So
be a certain point where
curiosity.
there's
Go
going to be a
ahead.
certain point where they're going to be held accountable. If they're making all these claims and stuff. So, because there's going to be real evidence to test it against. So it's like, oh, I got Bigfoot hair. Well, okay, let's test this out because we got a Bigfoot over here, guys. And so sure.
yeah, it might cut down on it a little bit, but I think there'd probably still be attempts.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You
People like
know,
to do that type of stuff, and it's kind of what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So wow, dead air we've hit because we're like
Yeah.
don't know what else to say about it now, right? It's
Well, that's
so
the good thing is that's what's going to happen is after it's dealt with, it's going to be everyone's going to realize we recognize it for what it is, and so
yeah.
you get it all the time. It doesn't matter what. Again, it doesn't matter what the topic is. We still have people out there thinking that they can talk to your dead family, but they always have to talk to a Joe or a Susan, or does a Joe or Susan mean anything to you? Why don't you just talk to Harold? Because I want to talk to my dad. His name's Harold, not through Joe or Susan. Oh, well, that must be Joe's brother or Harold's brother.
Yeah.
Well, why am I talking to him if you can get a hold of him? Why can't I get a hold of my dad named Harold?
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's the brain is very goofy, as JC would use the word, and the brain is very goofy. It comes up with it has programming systems that are executive functions, meaning that they're primary functions in the brain, and curiosity is one of those primary functions. So is imagination. And the problem is the imagination fills in all these ideas, but you have to vet it. That's why your frontal cortex is available today to us old apes, so that it takes it to the front and say, hey, does this make sense rationally to you? Well, if I don't take it to the front, it stays back to my primal brain, my emotional brain, those two executive functions of the brain, which aren't connected to the front part of the brain, they're separate. You're going to buy in because you feel there's something there. Think of how many times you've been in the bush and you're like, what the hell's that at nighttime? What the hell's that? So your brain goes automatically into trying to figure out something you can't see. So it's going to your visual part, but you're also feeling part of your brain is engaged now. Your primal parts bring up all the memories of the thousands of years we've been out in the Serengeti. Might be a bear, might be a monster, might be a cougar, might be this kind of stuff. And then you realize it's this freaking squirrel, But if you didn't have that capacity, you would just be stuck back there. That's what makes me feel that a lot of people have some developmental problems that they're still stuck in regards to not moving forward with the rest of the part of your brain capacity. So that's
Probably
something
linked to trauma.
Well, trauma will do it to you for sure. Yeah.
Big link, I think.
Well, isolation in trauma is the biggest reason why you're stuck there usually.
And I don't think I have to. I'm pretty sure that the chat. I think I can see the chat and I can see what their opinions are on this whole thing that I've presented here. So, guys. Hey, Alan. Welcome to the chat.
Hey.
I'm sorry to hear about your wife, man. Really. All sympathy to you, my man. I know what it's like, brother. It's rough, dude. I hope you're doing well, man. I know it's hard. So, that's funny. Jen said, "Does anyone else's chat go to error with server every few minutes? Really ticking me off."
Yeah, I do that when like my Wi-Fi kicks me off, like because kids use it or something, and just like bogs it down and kicks me off for some reason. Damn. But yeah, so that does it. But I was going to say, hey, you guys know what today is? It's June 5th. And today in June 5th, 1987, a little movie called Harry and the Hendersons came out.
That's right.
So make sure you guys go watch that. Give that some love. Actually, ironically, didn't even know it. Yesterday, I was at one of the film sites, did a little video about it. We got a gift shop there and some other stuff. We're having a first annual Bigfoot art festival there. So that's kind of cool.
You know, I did love that movie when it came out.
It's amazing. Me
certainly
too.
love that movie. And wouldn't it be awesome if Bigfoot was really like Harry?
Oh, yeah.
That would be just so awesome if that was what they were really like, man. But I love that movie, especially the end, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because that was
8 years
perfect.
old.
You did not even see those other Sasquatch standing there, man.
No, I was 8 years old when it came out, and that was precious. I remember that. You know, we all watched as a family and stuff. And I remember when Harry, you know, went over the window, you know, at the very beginning of the movie when he was up on top of this there, scared the crap out of me. But it was a fun movie.
Yeah, I loved
it.
It was. I may have to watch it again.
I think I'm going to too. Yeah.
I've watched it a bunch of times, to be honest. But
yeah, make the kids watch it 50th time.
Because it is a good feel-good movie. But well, guys, I guess that's it. I want to thank you two for coming on with me and helping me educate, you know, and inform, basically. More or less, you know, not that these guys in chat need all that much education, but it's nice to inform them of things when this kind of thing comes up so that they know. And so I appreciate it, fellas. And chat, thank you guys. Bottom of my heart, man. Glad you guys are here. You're the reason I do this. And, you know, I hope to see you guys always, always, always. And for all of you out there that are really trying to get some answers, man, I hope you do. I hope you do, all you guys. Eyes in the Woods, she's out there all the time, too, man. She's trying to find out
some good people out there. So hopefully, you know, we'll get something going soon.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that your ass is still throbbing, Eyes. Get a little balm. Get a little balm. Put a little balm on it.
Tiger balm. Yeah, Tiger balm's balm.
Okay.
So, for Austin Powers, I know preparation H is good for the whole. Yeah. In a hole, or whatever he says in Austin Powers.
Guys, don't forget, right after this at 9:00 Eastern is Jeff with Pine Island Research. He's going to have David Wilbanks on with him. So hopefully I'll see you guys in that chat when we get over there. So I love you guys. You know I do. And as I always say, as I always say, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff. Stay objective, and we're going to start seeing you from the woods here sometime. All right, everybody. Good night, and thank you.
See you.